Hi everyone. Today I wanted to talk about a condition that I suffer from, hopefully to raise some awareness on this issue, but also to kind of like reach out to other people who also suffer from it. What I'm talking about here is Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, or EDS. And you probably haven't heard of it before because it is a rare condition. It occurs 1 in 1,000 people. Sorry, 1 in 100,000 people. Yeah, it's kind of funny because if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I also suffer from a rare psychiatric condition, dissociative identity disorder. So I'm kind of like a zebra unicorn. If you don't know, zebra in the medical community is considered someone who has a rare disease, and I have too. I have a rare physical condition, EDS, and I also have this rare psychological condition, DID. Anyway, back to EDS. There are a few different types of EDS. There's hypermobility type, which is the most common. It's also the one that I have. There's classical type, which affects skin a little bit more, and then there's vascular type, which is the most serious type. But I think for the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick to talking about hypermobility type, the one that I have. So the biggest sign of EDS, or the first sign, is hypermobility, which basically means flexible joints. So this would be considered what you would consider double jointedness. I can give you some examples. My pinky moves back more than 90 degrees. That's one of the signs of hypermobility. My fingers are also quite hypermobile. As you can see, the top joint bends back the way that it shouldn't, and this is actually causing me problems in my hands because my fingers are starting to get crooked, and I'm also getting some early onset arthritis in my hands. I can basically grope myself with my shoulder. That hurt a little bit. Yeah, but I have flexibility basically in all of my joints. And the problem with having flexible joints is that when the joints are too loose, they can pop out of the socket, which is called a dislocation, and it happens quite often with people with EDS. It's very, very painful. It sucks. My shoulder dislocated yesterday, and I'm still in like a lot of pain. And we have subluxations, which are partial dislocations, and because our joints are loose, we also tend to have a lot of injuries and problems like early onset arthritis, osteoporosis, and other joint problems. The second biggest sign of EDS is smooth and velvety skin. And my skin has always been really, really soft. So apparently that's a sign of EDS. Also stretchy skin. Mine isn't the most stretchy, but it's still more hypermobile than the average person's, I guess. So that's another sign. People with EDS, because our skin is so fragile, we tend to bruise easily and scar easily. And let me tell you, my legs, especially, my body is like always covered in bruises, especially on my legs. I can go to sleep one night completely bruise free, and then wake up the next morning and I have fucking bruises all over my legs. It looks like someone beat me in my sleep. No, but I don't know how it happens. I'm just always covered in bruises. It's an EDS thing. Some other issues, EDS can cause some heart problems. One of the problems is an irregular heartbeat. For me, I have quite irregular heartbeat, which probably doesn't sound like a big deal, but it's one of the major causes of sudden cardiac arrest and death. So I need to take medication for it and monitor it really closely. You can also have valvular diseases with EDS. Mitral valve prolapse is another problem, which luckily I don't have. People with EDS have circulation issues. My fingers and my toes constantly, even though it's summer right now, like I get cold so easily, and it starts especially in my fingers. Will go blue or purple. So those are the main symptoms of EDS. There are many more, and every person presents differently. I would say the worst part of having EDS is the chronic pain. EDS is definitely a chronic pain condition, chronic pain and chronic fatigue, because of all the injuries, because of the heart issues and the skin issues. I am just always in pain. I take some medication for it, but lately especially it hasn't even really been touching the pain that I'm in. For me, the biggest issue is my knees. I have early onset arthritis, and I have early onset arthritis in my fingers and in my ankles, and that hurts quite a bit. And I would say the worst pain, though, is in my lower back. I have sciatica pain, and I have nerve pain in my legs. So I'm pretty much, I don't even know what it's like to not be in pain, because I've pretty much had pain for my entire life. I remember when I started the medication that I'm taking now for my pain, Lyrica, which is an awesome medication. And if you have chronic pain, I really suggest it. But when I started taking Lyrica, a week after having started it, I woke up one morning and like I felt so weird and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized it's because I had no pain. My body was pain-free, and like it was such a foreign feeling to me that being pain-free was really something that was like abnormal, and that I really noticed. It was nice. Since then, unfortunately, the drug hasn't been working as well, but I'm slowly increasing the dosage. Hopefully that will help. Chronic fatigue is also a big issue with EDS. Our body, because our ligaments and our joints are so loose, our surrounding tissue and stuff has to work like twice as hard to do like the same thing that a normal person would. So like for me, walking a short distance is exhausting. I sleep like 12 hours a night usually. I need lots of sleep, not lots of rest. I can't sit up straight like I am right now for more than like an hour without being in excruciating pain and being very fatigued. So I'm tired, and I'm tired a lot. I'm sure some of that is due to my my bipolar, because when I'm depressive, I do get a lot more tired, and when I'm manic, I do have more energy. But I know at least in part some of that is due to the EDS. So I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I mean, having EDS is, it sucks being this young and having a chronic pain condition that you know you're going to have for the rest of your life. I was able to go to university and finish university with the help of accommodation services, but I've never had like an actual job. I've never had a vanilla job where, you know, I worked more than 10 hours a week. Every single job I've had was no more than 12 hours. And I had either quit after 2 months or got fired because I would be just in so much pain and so tired and so lightheaded on the job that I just I was completely useless. So I've never really had a real job. I finished school, but I can't really do anything with my degree, sadly. So that sucks. I mean, I have money in savings right now, but once that runs out, I honestly don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see, though. I might go down the route of applying for disability, but it sucks being this young and like knowing you're never really going to work. Like that's kind of something that I think most young people take for granted. They take going to school for granted, and they take getting jobs for granted, and having the energy to volunteer and, you know, do hobbies and stuff. Like I can't do any of that because so much of my life is just catering to my health. Having a chronic illness is basically like having a full-time job. Like I spend at least 5 hours of my day just doing self-care, just like resting and like making sure I'm taking my medication, and like doctor's appointments. Like I'm always going to doctors, and that takes up time. So yeah, like having EDS is like having a full-time job. It's tiring. But yeah, I think that's basically all I wanted to say about EDS. It's kind of an issue that's really important to me right now because the last few weeks have been especially hard in terms of the pain that I've been in and stuff. But what can you do except, just try to do your best and keep on moving forward. So if you have a chronic pain condition or you have EDS even and you want to share your story, please, please, please reply in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And please don't forget to subscribe. Bye, everyone.